Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I am the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be discussing the Mercury entering into Aquarius. It actually happened yesterday on the 11th, and it'll be there until March 2nd. Um, The signs that will feel this the most are Aquarius, obviously. Um, Leo, this will oppose your energy. And so you can have a lot of back and forth with friends, your circles, groups, people that you hang around with, difference of opinions, not being able to see eye to eye when it comes to your communication, what you say, how you say it. Um, And then Taurus and Scorpio, this is going to square your energy. So much like Leo, but a lot more aggressive with a square. Um, People are just going to be coming for you, just period. There's really no other way to, to talk about that. Just be mindful, think twice before you speak. Be careful driving. Okay. Mercury and Aquarius is more intellectual, but Aquarius and Mercury also rule travel in some form. So Aquarius is like flying, aviation, and Mercury is driving. So be careful with traveling with this, and having issues with people having road rage. This just, try to ignore people and keep it pushing. It's not the time to really be challenging folks. And it doesn't have to be an accident. It could simply be that this is car troubles, getting your car started, needing something to be fixed before you can drive it, messing up your schedule and your daily routines and errands and things that you have to do. If you are traveling via aviation, um, there could be delays. Again, miscommunication. Something's not going through. So double check, recheck, triple check all your information. Make sure you have everything all set up to avoid things of this nature. Okay. Mercury rules your communication, the way you think and process information, ideas. Um, it's also um, learning, studying, or taking like a small, short course or attending like an event that provides some kind of information, socializing in general, big time with Aquarius here. But intellectually, we're looking for like-minded people with Mercury and Aquarius. It's not just mindless chit chat. We might not even really have the time for people who ain't really talking about nothing. Not that we have to be rude or dismissive in any kind of way, but definitely we can see some like uh not really having the time or the patience, I think is a better word, for people who are talking a lot about nothing. Um, um, we could see a lot more things with teenagers and teenagers speaking up and having something to say, or because it's Aquarius, but um it could be around their education too. What they want to do, what they want to study, things like that. Um, this does rule childhood education or vocational things. So taking training courses that when you leave you'll have a skill. Um, um, so like trade schools and things of that nature might be a lot more popular with this energy. um, doing freelance and being more interested in I'm sorry, I'm just getting my thing here for a minute. Okay, so doing more freelance work, part-time work, seasonal work, things that are predicated to working for short periods of times and not longer periods of time. So more creative um things and like side hustles here with Mercury and Aquarius for sure. Um Anything driving, taking short trips, running errands, paperwork, planning, writing. Um, mm, I think the biggest thing this transit's going to offer is helping people get themselves stuck out of a rut. So if you've been having like creative blockages, if you're a writer or just want to write, or even thinking, this is going to help open up that energy a little bit more to bring in more ideas, quick, fast ideas, and things of that nature. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So, right off the bat, it's important to know that this is going to be a time where we come up with solutions, write a plan, then out, um, write a plan out, but not necessarily the time to really act on them because it's a fixed energy, and fixed energy can be stubborn. It's not easy to change, even though we want to be the best that we can be and we have the greatest intentions on being the best. It just might be one of those things where it's smaller steps that we need to take before we actually reach or see the benefits of change. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Also, we have to discuss that Mercury has been in Saturn, in a Saturn ruled sign since December 7th, which was Capricorn. So remember, Mercury went into Capricorn last year, December 7th, and Mercury usually only stays in a sign for 3 or 4 weeks, but because it was retrograde, it stays a little bit, it expands that stay because it has to kind of go back to its original degree. And so um, those same theories and ideas from having Mercury and Capricorn are still playing out. And they're still very relevant to Aquarius because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn as well as Uranus. Okay. And it's really going to depend on where you're at in your spiritual growth in your life, where you're going to see whether you're going to see the Saturn side or the Uranus side, right? So this could be quick, fast thinking with Uranus. Saturn, again, it's slow to take. Saturn's really going to take its time. It's going to do some research. It wants to, again, perhaps try some things on before it actually makes a decision. So maybe people, the way this can be shown up is that all the way from having Capricorn and Mercury from December 7th, we're still kind of wrapping up that night, dark night of the soul kind of energy, releasing and letting go old thinking, old ways of doing things, what's keeping us stuck, limited, and held back in some way, shape, or form. Um, I like to think of Saturn as the slave trade, it's work, it's the workforce. It believes in following the rules, even if the rules have flaws in them. Saturn just likes to follow the law. Whatever is said, I don't know why I got like um when in Rome, you do as the Romans do, right? That's how I feel about Saturn energy. It just um is it just does what it's supposed to do. It wants to follow the law. It wants to be looked at as um an authority figure or an idol, someone to look up to, so it wants to be seen in this light as somebody who does the right thing. But again, it doesn't consider whether that's the right thing to be doing or not. Okay, it doesn't have that kind of consciousness, right? So it's going to be up to the people or Uranus to come in and say, hey, wake up, this isn't the right way to do this anymore. And it just takes time to change, right? Um, and this is kind of why a lot of people have this argument about Capricorn ruling Black people. Now, I've talked about this idea on here a lot. As you know, I am not just an astrologer that happens to be Black. I am a Black person who happens to be an astrologer. So I'm always going to talk about this from a Black perspective. And you'll hear this. If you listen to other astrologers, they will say Capricorn rules Black people. Some of the spiritual people will say, no, Cancer rules Black people. I'm going to put it into this today and say, they are one and the same because Cancer and Capricorn are on the same axis. They are in opposition of one another. And the moon does rule the people as well as Aquarius does, by the way. But so Cancer is Black people and Capricorn is the 400 years of slavery that we've had to endure and are still going through. And even if you take slavery out of the equation in some area of your life, I'm sure the storyline is being played out in some area of your life, right? So you want to take a look at your Capricorn area of life, your Aquarius area of life, and you also want to know where Uranus is in your chart, and you want to know where Saturn is in your chart. Okay, these are going to be important to say what's happening for you and what things can be coming because those planets are activated right now. And anytime there's another transit or aspect to Mercury, which we'll obviously always talk about, then these are the areas of your life that are going to be lit up. And so because Capricorn and Saturn rule the workforce, the microaggressions, right? This is what we're currently trying to get out the rat race where we constantly feel like we're in a wheel and not really progressing, growing, or going anywhere. Everything's still the same. This is so Saturn, right? There are habits, daily routines, and things that we do consistently. And what that does is help us, it kind of trains your brain. They say it takes like 28 days to get to make something a habit. And so Saturn is all about the long term, and doing something consistently like this helps you build skill. It helps you master something. And you gain responsibility, routine, and again, all those things there. So this is why, you have to understand when you're going to work, this is why it's seen as slavery, another form of slavery. Um, um, it could feel like it's never ending, depressing, someone's you're struggling while you're struggling to build your own dream, you're helping somebody build their own dream. That's kind of what the American dream is really all about, if you want my fucking opinion, because they do that shit in every fucking aspect of America, like literally. They've set up this system in such a way where it's like, yeah, come over here, we'll give you benefits and money and all this other stuff, but you're not really building your dream, you're building their dream, right? And that's kind of what I feel like everybody's trying to get out of in some way, shape, or form. And it's been really, really hard because we have years of psychological conditioning with signs and symbols and things that they know we're attracted to, right? Um, and not to mention, Pluto has been in Capricorn for the last 20 years. It's about to move into Aquarius. And I think the very interesting part about this Mercury entering into Aquarius for everybody to pay attention to is kind of what is changing and transforming for you. What's finally ending? What are you finally letting go of? Something is coming to an end in your Capricorn area of life for sure. But remember, uh, once Pluto moves into Aquarius, Capricorn energy is still going to be heavily lit up. Those theories and storylines are still going to be playing out. Okay. And we're going to have to move more towards that Uranus, my prerogative, do what I want to do, fuck the system kind of energy. And not in a kind of derogatory or negative way, but more freedom, so more working from home, more flexible schedules. We're definitely going to see a lot more of that. Um, and also making sure that you're building on your own dreams and doing what it takes to build that. And so, um, you still kind of have some of the same energy being played out here with Pluto and Capricorn, because that's all we're doing for the fall season is doing our dark night of the soul energy, which is releasing and letting go. Pluto is the actual underworld, and Saturn is the devil. And so these two have been working simultaneously together to dismantle all of what we've been suffering through, to bring those things to light, to rise above it, like the phoenix rising or the kundalini energy, some kind of awakening to, like, what are you finally absolutely positively without a shadow of a doubt done with? Like, I'm not doing this anymore. I refuse to fill in the blank. And that's what you kind of get the glimpse of Pluto and Aquarius and what you're finally done with. But then you also don't forget to dream the new dream. Okay, so close your eyes and look and see, what is it next that you're going to try to build? What are you trying to work towards? And that's when Uranus comes into play, and you kind of get these really electric ideas, outside of the box ideas, inventing things, becoming an inventor in your own unique kind of way. Your unique personality and traits kind of wake up and come alive once you're actually done with something. So you're making more room for newer ways of doing and thinking. Okay. And on top of all that, the day before Mercury had a sit down with Pluto, um, then Mercury moves into Aquarius, which is more, again, enlightenment, fast free thinking, solutions, freedom of Saturn ways of doing and thinking, breakthroughs, breaking free of limits, boundaries, and delays. We might see a faster movement coming through, more friends coming through. What are you doing? Where you at? What do you want to do? People wanting to socialize, hang out, talk more, have intellectual conversations, meetings, planning, business, friendships, concerts, going out, having fun. It doesn't have to be business is going to be different for everybody, depending on, where you're at again in your life and what it is you're trying to build. You can get messages, ideas, and vision. Uranus has that, Aquarius has that vision to find solutions, want to learn more. Like I was saying, definitely with like teenagers, I think we're going to see a lot of teenagers like, yo, I just want to do something with my life. They're going to be really inspired. If they're not typically already that way. It's going to feel like a breath of fresh air for sure. And even more so than that, again, wanting or looking forward to the challenge of, like, yo, I'm not working at that job no more. They're disrespectful. I've heard so many different stories already about race. Um, Especially with it being Black History Month, but they got something going on in the NFL, I just heard, because it's Super Bowl Sunday. And I think they just fired somebody off of an accusation. No, it's not even a fact. And it's like, how many times do we have to go to these white people for jobs and continuously be put in this energy where it's like, we work so hard to gain a name for ourselves in this system, and at any given time, some white person, hell, some black people can do it, um, can come up to you and be like, "Hey, this person hurt my feelings," or they said something, or I felt threatened, or something of that nature, and it's like, okay, boom, you lose your job. No questions, no uh process of elimination. And that's it. That's it. You're done. And you have to start all over again. I think we're going to have a lot more stuff like this happening to people, but also a lot more people like, fuck, I'm done. Like, I'm tired of going through this shit, breakdowns and breakthroughs, but you got to get tired first. So it really just depends on, again, where you're at in your spirituality. Maybe you get mad, you go back and get another job. Some people don't know what their unique passions are. And even if they do, there's so much fear from that Pluto energy of, can I make it? Am I good enough? And so a lot of the training courses that I think Mercury an Aquarius can really bring to you at this time, if you're being intentional using these transits to bring in opportunities for you, is to find people who can teach you those things, or go do the research, right? Looking up, how do I find my unique passion? They're gonna come. Google is a whole university today. Okay, you could go to school on Google, no bullshit. All you got to do is type in what it is you're looking for. You're going to get a list of things that come up. Go through them, read through them until you get somewhere. Find somebody that you trust, a class, a course that you can take. Google specific courses and classes in your city, your local city. Be proactive with this energy and use it towards, whatever this might be bringing up for you. Don't waste this energy and just sit and think that thing is going to come to you just because Mercury's in Aquarius. You do something with it. Be intentional. Like, I don't know if you guys remember how I did the Pluto conjunct. What was it? I think I just said it. Um, yeah, Mercury. It was Mercury conjunct Pluto. Oh my God, that's not fucking funny. It was, but I would love to hear some other stories that people might have experienced with that. Like, I can't tell you how many, like, people coming to me, putting DMs, sending me DMs with messages and stuff about race. Like, I'm trying to change the way I think about race in my life moving forward. And if you have to say, if you have to belittle yourself or allow somebody to belittle you for you to learn how to accept not being a racist or not liking white people, that should tell you right there that there's a problem. Okay, so there's some psychological condition. And the fucked up thing about Pluto is that shit runs so deep. 9 times out of 10, it's not just that Pluto is a 17 to 20-year transit. These things aren't just taking place over 20 years. You're talking about family childhood things that they're passing down generationally to you, and they say the first 7 years of your life are the most important, and if you're learning everything from a negative or derogatory or something that's belittling you, trashing you, putting you down, keeping you in confinement, telling you you're not worthy, um, why wouldn't a statement like that be okay with somebody? But it has to be up. You gotta take control over your life. The system's not set up for it to magically appear in your favor. It's just not, right? It's an unfortunate, sad, depressing truth that you are gonna have to make the decision to wake up. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you have to send somebody a DM to make your point, whether you're derogatory saying it to them or not, and you're just simply sharing, either way, this is not a burden for me to carry, right? Like, if you're sending it to me because you feel like I'm a racist, and I need to, learn how to not to be a racist as well. It's not your place to tell somebody else to change. Your only responsibility is you. So the things that you need to work on or that you want to work on or the things that you care about, those should be the things that you keep to yourself and do the dark night of the soul work, which is learning and educating yourself, doing the deep research, to transform and change to rise above, right? The phoenix rising is void of racism. They don't care how you look, especially with Aquarius people. These people are some of the most kindest, loving people, and they don't see color. These people will talk to any race if they got common sense. And if they don't, they're going to tell you you sound a little crazy, but I like you, good people, whatever, keep doing what you do. And they're going to keep it pushing. Right? And so, ultimately that is going to be the challenge with Pluto moving into Aquarius for a lot of us is that we have to start using words, language, Mercury, communication on better expressing what that new ideology is going to look like. Are we going to keep calling them white people? Are we going to change the language around how we're addressing the issue of race? There's going to be a whole dichotomy about that, and it's going to be very important because I think it's all pretty common sense that we can agree not all white people are the ones doing these things to black people, right? It's just that all white people have access to privileges that we don't. And so that's where the separation between us is coming in. And so we have to talk, we're going to have those kinds of conversations for sure. We're going to have to address those things. But I think before we can even do that and worry about that, Black people need to worry about Black people. We need to build a culture that is specifically and related to us, where we're doing our own thing, we're making our own movies, and we're responsible for our own culture and the problems that we need to fix in our culture, because nobody else is going to care for us the way that we care for ourselves once we do the healing. Because I think, I mean, I think it would be ignorant to speak on other cultures and races without having done any research, because I can believe that these things come up in other cultures as well, but again, it's not my business, right? I only care about my people and my culture because I can see that the most. I can see where things need to be fixed and where we need to do more work, right? And without having any experience in other cultures, I have no business speaking about it anyway. So, um, I just wanted to say that that Pluto conjunct Mercury brought in some serious, serious things, low key pettiness, throwing low blows. I think oftentimes people will see you as somebody who gives advice or who's doing something or somebody who's considered to be in the spotlight. Take me off that pedestal. If that's the way you think about me, take me off because I'm not fucking perfect. I can tell you right now some shit that would make all y'all be like, Keisha, you did what? It's just none of your fucking business, right? And I'm not bothering anybody with it, but I know what I need to fix about myself. And trust me, I do my due diligence to change every single day. And so, like I was talking about dating, that's another thing that low blows they keep being thrown at me from messages being sent to me in my DM. And I think the problem that people have with my dating, um, the way that I kind of express dating or feel about dating is that I'm dating until I find somebody, but I'm also very intentional with who I'm dating. I'm not dating to have a fucking boyfriend. I don't care about that. I'm dating with the intent of marriage, right? And when you put yourself in a box, you learn these all these tools and techniques when you become an investor. You don't put all your eggs in one box. And most people will see that and hear that and think, "Oh, poor slut, somebody who's not trustworthy." Um or, all those kind of derogatory terms that come with that idea. And for the most part, you're very right. That's a very real thing that happens. But what changes it, and why I'm always saying do things intentionally, is that's what changes the dynamics of how I'm doing it as opposed to everybody else. I'm upfront. You can look at my profile and see I'm telling you everything. And then when I get on the phone, I'm reiterating, yeah, I'm not here to be playing any games with you. So we're either going to get it together or you're going to get gone. It's really just that fucking simple. Right. And so, again, that's my motherfucking business. I can do what the hell I want. I'm not coming to you and saying, "Oh, you should do this way," or "Oh, you should do that way." And if those are what my videos sound like when I'm on here sharing my personal experience or just talking about astrology in general, delete yourself. You need to leave this platform because it's not for you. This platform is for educated people who can read between the lines and who has common sense and is ready for change, right? Like-minded people we're trying to grow here. If there's something that I'm saying that's making you feel like you know that I think I'm better than you in some way, shape, or form, it's first of all, it's not real because even astrologers have fucking issues. Like, go listen to other astrologers. You can hear them talking about their own fucking personal experiences. And I think that shit's so funny because, for one, it makes me feel like I'm not fucking crazy. And two, just like I say, I'm not just a black person who happens to be an astrologer. I've lived a whole black experience, believe it or not. Could you fucking imagine that? Like, the same way that it goes as these astrological transits are happening, I'm experiencing those things as well. Um, you know, Another video that was sent to me was like, it was this guy, he was rambling about something like, oh, it was kind of like again, an under kind of like smart aleck way of saying educated people get on here and this is what they sound like when they talk, but he sounded like a fucking ass. I just can repost that video because it was actually really funny. I had to listen to it twice. And then I realized I was like, "Oh, again, seriously, with the fucking low blows already." Like, I wish people were more straightforward, but honestly, it wouldn't do anything. It's not going to change anything because the more honest you are, it just allows me to be a bitch. And I think I'm mad because I can't say that because there's no definitive proof that that person's being a smartass. But like I said, common sense and knowing these transits, this is very undertow, jealousy, hidden secrets, hidden feelings about how people feel about you when you're talking about Plutonian energy, right? They can be very devious that way. And so, again, I'm just going to reiterate, if you have a problem with somebody, like, why are you around them? Seriously, because you wake up every day to make a choice, right? You can make the choice to not deal with somebody who aggravates you or annoys you in some way. The moment you realize you're doing stuff to intentionally try to make somebody feel bad or down them or belittle them in some way, shape, or form, at the end of the day, no matter how you fucking throw that shit out there, it's always going to go back to sender. Karma is not a fucking joke. It's coming for you, period. And it's going to show in your lifestyle and how much you fucking suck at it. Like, it's just that simple. The good thing about that is that if you shut the fuck up and stop minding other people's business, nobody's ever going to know that you're a full shit. Just like mind your business and shut the fuck up. But the moment you put yourself out there, especially to somebody who's on their spiritual journey and they're enlightened, I think most people think that I get up here and talk like this because I feel like I'm something that I'm not. This was given to me. That's why I share my story about going to prison. about all the lower vibrational shit that I've done that got me here because I made a choice after that to change. I could totally, completely still be as trifling as I was that got me into that situation in the first fucking place. But I made a decision to listen to the spirits that I feel like were showing me, now this is where you're going. Now you can think about it and change your life around, or you can continue going down this road. And that was the moment that I realized, like, I just don't have any fear. So I'm all the way in. Whatever it is I'm doing, I have to make different decisions in order for me to be here today to have this conversation with people. I can't just be out there being ratchet and living my whole best ratchet life. I do miss it. Okay, I do. But I had to make a choice because you can't do both. All right. Um, and it's important that people hear that. I'm not doing this because this is something that I would have chosen to do. I only chose to take this road. Does that make sense? When you get something specifically from God and your own unique experience that you can share, and you have a story to tell through the trials and tribulations of how many times God has showed up for you in your life, that's an opportunity to do something better than what you was doing before. And it's up to you to make that choice to do that. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has free will. And that's what we're going to be talking about during the new year, the real new year with Pisces and Aries. It's that God power and going back to the lower self, to the beginning, in the beginning. And that's all free will. We're all gonna have, we're getting ready to make another choice. We're gonna be given another choice, a trajectory to go on and pick and choose whichever one you want to do. But you have to know that whatever it is you choose, you can't then start blaming people. Pisces lower vibration is that victim mentality and all that other stuff. And secretly throwing hate at others or blaming other people who are in positions that you secretly want, but you're afraid, you know? You got to fix that on your own. So that's my whole tangent on that. Sorry, I kind of went off on a But think about it, because this energy very much is going to have all and everything to do with these new changes that are coming up for the new year with the Pisces new moon, which I'll be recording after this and posting Monday or Tuesday. But this is about solutions either way. How can we be better? Um, we will be less likely to make emotional decisions with Aquarius energy. We're making head over heart decisions with Mercury and Aquarius, which I think is better. Um, and you'll challenge the norm and not do with what everybody else is doing. Um, we can be seeing a lot of these themes coming up in our friendship circles, social media groups we belong to, both on and offline, news and media, information, education, our goals and dreams, or the things that keep us from our goals and dreams. Messages from the divine, because it's Uranus. Uranus is the sky god. So you're building a relationship with the higher power right now. Take advantage of that. This could also be with siblings because it's Mercury, aunts, uncles, nieces, cousins, nephews, business associates, um, doing work in your community, or running errands, or again, issues with cars, okay? Um, you're going to be letting go of people who don't support your cause or your beliefs. Because remember, even though Mercury can be about small talk and chit chatter, um, Remember the example that I used around counseling, and most people think that you're just going there to so for somebody to listen to you or talk. A good counselor is going to give you what we call a toolbox. And now you have all these tools that you can use when you're in similar situations. The idea is to set you off and help you change your mindset with these tools around dealing with issues, how to deal with issues, how to communicate with others, how to make good decisions, and things of that nature. If you don't want to do counseling, again, do your own research. How do you make good decisions? It's going to give you a list. Google University. Okay, it's going to give you a list of shit that you can read, find books on, go deeper, get more educated, self-taught. Gemini, Virgo, Mercury is definitely about self-taught, self-made. Okay, so you don't have to go to counseling, it's not a necessity, but you can't change your own mind from a negative mindset to a positive with the same negative um thoughts and knowledge and information that you already have, which is why I suggest people go to somebody else to help you think outside of your own negativity. But if you want to do it for yourself, you can. You just have to work a little bit harder on changing what you are consistently looking and seeing, who you're following, listening to more positivity than negativity, and read and consume as much different perspectives by reading other people and things than you normally would on a everyday basis, because again, that psychological conditioning is deep. That shit runs deep. And so when you feel it bubbling up, don't run from it, don't suppress it, don't try to change who you are. When I tell you I'm trifling, I promise you I'm trifling. Okay, I'm no better than anybody else. The difference may be is that I'm gonna stop and think before I make a fucked up decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be this way. Be a better person. I do. I really do. I'm trying so hard. But you have to release the people who continuously have you in this mindset, unfortunately, or give them arm's length. Don't give them as much energy um, to have an effect on your life and the decisions that you make and the mood that you're in. Okay. Especially this week with the Pisces new moon, family, please don't let people bring you down. This Pisces new moon is going to be fucking awesome. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, it's going to be amazing. And you don't want anybody fucking up your mind space, your head space, your energy fields with negativity, because you're going to bring that into this newness that new moon in Pisces is going to be trying to bring to everybody. So tell everybody to fuck off this week. They can go jump in a lake for today. Until you have a clear vision of your beautiful new world, new start, new decisions that you want to make and bring into your life. All right. Um, yeah, socializing, partying, hanging out with like-minded people. We may want to socialize more with good people, literally the same thing, community or groups that you fit in. Be careful for feeling alienated, for not doing what others are doing, but accept the fact that you're different. Celebrate yourself, okay, family, for your uniqueness. If you're somebody who's having these same kind of Plutonian like energies coming for you and lightly passive aggressively coming at you and trying to, um tell you in so many ways you ain't shit, lightly let them go. Don't consume that energy, don't check your messages. Just try to be on the up and up. I want to say so much more, y'all. Decisions right now, um in real time. Um, because it's the right thing to do. And none of those things mean anything anyways. What's meant for you is not meant for other people to understand anyways. So detox, change your diet for the week so you can bring in more positivity, more enlightenment and light into your energetic field, family. As usual, I love and appreciate y'all. I hope you guys find this information helpful. Peace.